mystery of sharp ringing noise and electric spark recorded at the Great Pyramid summit, but we have electric sparks and electricity, columns of light emanating from pyramids all over the earth, not just from the Great Pyramid in Egypt. Climbing to the summit of Giza pyramids is prohibited due to safety regulations. One of the main reasons that an individual should avoid going to the top of the pyramids is the incredible energy source. A few researchers claim to have experienced an unnatural electric phenomenon on their visits to the pyramid's top. Though it's illegal now, what they have discovered hints at the advanced knowledge of electricity in ancient Egypt. Is there any truth to pyramid power? Does the shape, size, or orientation of the structure imbue it with mystical powers? In the late 1800s, a British inventor named Sir William Siemens made it to the flat, settled top of the Giza pyramid, the Great Pyramid of Giza. Christopher Dunn wrote in The Giza Power Plant, Technologies of Ancient Egypt, that Siemens experienced a strange energy phenomena at the Great Pyramid when an Arab guide drew his attention to the fact that, while standing on the summit of the pyramid with his hands outstretched, he could hear a sharp ringing noise. Raising his index finger, Siemens felt a prickling sensation. And later on, while sipping some wine, he experienced a slight electric shock. Feeling that some further observation were in order, Siemens then wrapped a moistened newspaper around a wine bottle, converting it into a Leyden jar, and after he held it above his head for a while, this improvised Leyden jar became charged with electricity to such an extent that sparks began to fly. Reportedly, Siemens' Arab guides were not too happy with their tourist experiment and accused him of practicing witchcraft. Peter Tompkins wrote, one of the guides tried to seize Siemens' companion, but Siemens lowered the bottle towards him and gave the Arab such a jolt that he was knocked senseless to the ground. Recovering, the guide scrambled to his feet and took off down the pyramid, crying loudly. Now, what kind of natural phenomenon on top of the Great Pyramid could produce such an electrostatic effect? It would be interesting to conduct additional physics experiments on the top of the Great Pyramid. In the 1920s, Antoine Bovy, a Frenchman, visited the Great Pyramid, and he saw the mummified remains of small animals in the king's chamber. When he examined the bodies, he discovered that they had no odor, and in spite of the humidity in that place, the bodies were dehydrated. Bovis returned to France and built a wooden model of the Great Pyramid. He aligned it north-south and put a recently deceased cat inside. Within a few days, the cat got mummified. He experimented with other animals, meat and eggs, and reported that all of them were hot, dehydrated, and mummified rather than decaying. Jean-Paul Bouquet translated Bovis' exposé. Paul wrote, when the pyramids, are lit, one can find on the ground a few meters or feet from their bases straight-lined radiations that may lead to think that they were built like the menhirs to mark the crossings of underground sources. This is not proven, though. This fact would be a curious one because it would mean 4 underground sources intersecting at a 90-degree angle, composing a rectangle with every pyramid at its center until disproved. And Bovis says, I attribute the radiation lines to being caused by cosmic waves reflected by each side. The experiments I have conducted in the laboratory appear to confirm this supposition, he said. And according to Nikola Tesla, pyramids served a higher purpose than just mesmerizing giant stone sculptures. Throughout his life, Tesla investigated pyramids and found some alluring things about them. He wondered if they were not giant transmitters of energy, a thought that coincided with his investigation into how to send energy wirelessly. In 1905, Nikola Tesla filed a patent in the U.S. titled The Art of Transmitting Electrical Energy Through the Natural Medium, and he outlined designs for a series of generators around the world that would tap the ionosphere for energy collections. He saw planet Earth itself, with its two poles, as a giant electrical generator of limitless energy. His triangle-shaped design became known as the Tesla electromagnetic pyramid. He explained that the location of the Egyptian pyramid was responsible for the power. Big Think wrote, he, Nikola Tesla, built a tower facility known as the Tesla Experimental Station in Colorado Springs and Wardenclyffe Tower, or Tesla Tower, on the East Coast that sought to take advantage of the Earth's energy field. The locations were chosen according to the laws of where the pyramids of Giza were built, related to the relationship between the elliptical orbit of the planet and the equator. The design was intended for wireless transmission of energy. Tesla's tower was also believed to have been built upon aquifers, which means that the electrical technology used by Tesla is nearly identical to that applied in the construction of the Great Pyramid. Both the Great Pyramid of Giza and Tesla's magnificent Wardenclyffe Tower were the systems that generated negative ions and were capable of transmitting them without the need for electric cables, and completely free in wireless energy that powered other electrical components through vast distances. The eminent astronomer Norman Lockyer wrote about his experiences examining ancient Egypt sites in The Dawn of Astronomy, the study of temple worship and mythology of the ancient Egyptians. Searching for evidence that ancient Egyptian laborers had worked by torchlight, he noted that, quote, in all freshly opened tombs there are no traces whatsoever of any kind of combustion having taken place. That means there's no soot, no smoke. Even in the innermost recesses, end quote. Unable to explain the lack of evidence of more elementary light sources, Lockyer recounts how he and his companion joked of the possibility that the electric light was known to the ancient Egyptians, noting that the delicate paintwork on the walls of the tombs could not have been completed using natural light reflected from systems of mirrors, as others had previously suggested. What purpose pyramids served is still not known, and some theories claim that they were built as an observatory for intergalactic communication by the ancient gods. And this is on House and Wise by Vicky Verma. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.